But for those of you guys that are brand new, we're really just a bunch of moms, dads, a few dads. I don't want to leave out the dads, you know. Some people have kids, don't have kids. Some people work full time, some don't work full time, but really we're not professional speakers. If you could see I got notes up so I don't fumble over my words and stuff. And I'm sure maybe the other ones have some notes too. So we're really just no different than y'all. And that's what I really love about this business. I've been running this business for, it'll be a decade. Those of you guys that have been here with me for a while, it'll be exactly 10 years when we're on our team retreat we're all going down to Destin to celebrate some things together, but it'll be a decade, which is absolutely insane. And honestly, this whole journey started out with me being frustrated myself and I was a personal trainer already. So I became a personal trainer to try to fix myself because I was so frustrated as a D1 athlete and a marathon runner. I could not figure out why I wasn't comfortable in my skin. I wasn't looking for a six-pack or anything, but I was looking to have a healthy relationship with food, not to have that muffin top that I just couldn't get rid of, you know, like there was just a lot of frustrations. And I thought, you know, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but I thought I must just be missing some information. So I became a personal trainer and I really, really fell in love with the mission, if I'm being honest. I met a lot of amazing women and some men that would come to my spin classes and body blast classes that were just like me, that, you know, didn't have it all figured out. But we're looking for solutions. And I really fell in love with that personality. You know, when you get to that place in your life where you're frustrated, but you're looking for solutions. And I just fell in love with the environment. I fell in love with the environment, but I still wasn't getting what I really still couldn't figure out how to fix me, quote unquote. Like I still wasn't where I wanted to be. And from 7,000 miles away, our first deployment, Chad was gone. We had a 10-month-old, a 4-year-old, and from 7,000 miles away, he said, Summer, if you want something different, you have to do something different. Now, this is something I had said to my clients numerous times, but to have someone kind of throw it back at you, I mean, he could only say that from 7,000 miles away. Let's just be honest. But after I closed the computer, I really thought about it, and I said, you know what? I'm going to prove him wrong. I don't know, if we have any personalities like that, I'm going to show you I am doing everything different. And fine, I will unwrap that P90X guy that I don't need him. And I'm going to prove to him that it doesn't work. And sure, I'll drink that stupid shake. Chad's the one that talked me into that stupid shake. And I like to chew my food. I had all of it. So you can't throw anything at me that I didn't think already 10 years ago. You know, like we were $100,000 in debt. We were a military family. We had been on WIC. Like we were barely making ends meet. There was more a month than there was paycheck. And it was frustrating, but I was like, okay, I'll take the challenge. I'll prove you wrong. I'll drink it for 30 days and I'll do this stupid pony workout and I'll show you that it doesn't work. Well, I got about 3 days into the shake and my energy started to come back. And I was like, man, he's not going to be right, is he? My craving started to go away and I started to ask him questions. Like, why? Like, because I didn't understand. I studied exercise science. I understood the body. Can you guys just make sure you're muted? I can't mute everybody. It's not allowing me to. So Ashley's iPhone and T-Zipora. I don't know if I said that right. I hope I didn't butcher it, but anyway, so slowly but surely I started to have to eat my words with Chad, you know, and my body really started to change. I hung up my running shoes. I started doing as much of P90X as I could. I couldn't do one pull-up when I started, which I was embarrassed about as a personal trainer, but I showed up every day. And when he came home from his first deployment, for the first time in my life, I felt comfortable in my skin. I felt like $1 million. I can't even put a price tag on it. You guys have to understand when he used to touch my sides, I used to cringe because I didn't want him to feel my sides. I was really uncomfortable and I had this constant self-hate tape that played in my head. And over those 90 days and getting surrounded by other women, you know, that were moving in a positive direction, but weren't perfect, I started to gain this confidence that wasn't even attached to a scale. See, the scale had defined me for so long. And as I started to accomplish things, get surrounded by the right people instead of trying to figure everything out by myself, so much changed inside of me that I couldn't even put a price tag on it when Chad stepped off of that plane. And so it was at the end of that I could no longer tell Chad that he was wrong, which I really, that's just my personality. I really hate eating my words, you guys. But I ended up eating my words with the business too, because Chad's the one that talked me into the business. He was like, it's a good tax write-off. You can do it from home. He gave me all these things. I was like, no, you don't understand. I didn't go to college to do that. I don't know if you've ever thought that. I didn't go to college to just do this MLM thing. I want to work. You know, he was like, well, if you want something different, you do something different. I still am. Are you guys hearing the feedback still? I can't get it to, I can't mute Ashley and I can't mute to Zipporah. Hold on, let me try again. I figured that one out. Okay. But you know, he told me, he's like, look, you complain about the income. His income wasn't going to change. I couldn't work outside the house because we had kids and I needed a solution, really. But I had all these misconceptions about what a coach was, and I'm going to let Christy talk about it. But for me, there was a girl that used to chase me around. Well, it felt like she chased me around the grocery store trying to sell me products. And I was like, I am not a salesperson. I'm not about to do that to friends and people that I know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would hide from this person, and bless her heart, I mean, she was just trying to create an extra income for her also military family. But I was like, if that's what it looks like, I'm not doing it, right? And so I know that when we share these things, you know, that sometimes is the misconception. I'm not into sales. I like to chew my food. I like to go to the gym. Trust me, I was a gym rat. All of these things I understand. But I want you to know before Christy jumps in that if you were invited here, whoever invited you, like, we take that really seriously. You know, we're not just out there just inviting everybody. You know, we're really getting together as a team and saying, like, who do you want to work with? Who do you feel could be a light? Who has a story? Who would just really add value to this team? We're more like a family than anything. We've been through a lot together. I've been through 2 deployments with this team. I've delivered a child by myself with this team. I've watched people fight for their marriage on this team. I've watched people dig themselves out of debt. I've watched them move. I've watched them lose family members that we've all pulled together and supported each other. I've seen a lot of things, and we take it very seriously. So I want you to kind of take that off your shoulder and understand that if you're here, it's because someone wanted you here. And if someone believes in you and sees you as a light, I'm excited to know you. I really am. And I'm excited that you're here. So Christy, would you just kind of jump in? It's going to be more interview style, you guys, because really like hopefully you have a cup of tea or maybe a glass of wine or something. It's really just like a friend hangout. Like, it's not like, that's something I love about this team is some of us are in pajamas, you know what I mean? I got my glasses on already. My hair is a few days into dry shampoo, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, we're really just a bunch of friends. It's a safe place for you to ask questions and to learn, is this a solution, something that could add value to your life, you know? And that's what we want to do, is answer those questions and kind of give you the whole picture. So don't be afraid to ask questions in the chat. Like, many of us will jump in and we could answer them ourselves, or we can type it. So Christy, take it away. Tell us a little bit about coaching, what it is to you, and like that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I have clean hair, but pajamas. So it's a mix. I've been a coach for almost 6 years now. And as Summer said, my name is Christy Vincent. And when I said yes, I didn't know what I was getting into or what exactly it meant. So you might be in the same place. That's why I wanted to talk about it. All I knew was that I finally had said yes to trying these products after a year of like putting it off and watching friends do it and saying I could do it myself. So very similar stories. And then I knew I needed more. So I got in a community where I was cheered on by a group of women who really wanted my support and had done similar, like were navigating similar struggles. And for the first time, I had been carrying about 35 extra pounds for years, probably 8-10 years more than I should be. And I lost 7 pounds, and I was like, okay, like maybe this works, and I'm going to be in the long haul. So I hear about this coaching opportunity where I can save a little bit of money. And similar to Sommer, I was in debt. We had lots of credit card debt. Anything we purchased for our new home was, you know, can we do the financing option and how many months can we pay it off? Like all these kind of payments. And so the idea of sticking with this program meant another expense. And I didn't want to go to my husband and say, I'm adding another expense. So I heard about this coaching opportunity, and basically I got to be a cheerleader similar to the people that were cheering me on. And I had already gotten some results and shared it with some friends and family, and they saw a difference in me. So they started to ask questions. And so very quickly it became a natural business opportunity for me, an income producing opportunity, because it was working in my life. And when something genuinely is changing your life, the people around you notice. So that is your biggest role of a coach, is to use the products and get success and change your life little by little. And as you do that, the people around you are going to notice. And then you just share what you're doing. And we give you the tools to do that. I know for me, naturally talking face-to-face is something that has always come easily, but sharing on social media did not. Taking pretty pictures did not come easily. So that's something, your role as a coach on this team, you are given tools to whichever areas you need help with will help you. And your job is simply to be open to learning that. And then as you bring people in, your role is to be the best cheerleader they've ever had and bring them into a community of people that are the best cheerleaders they ever had, and just connect people with tools that are from a third party. And, you know, what I found is that income, instead of being a burden to my family, which I was so nervous it was going to be worse, it actually, in fact, was quite the opposite. Within a few months, I was able to quit working on Sundays, on Saturdays, a couple hours, and then I quit working on a Monday job and a Sunday job. And in the last 6 years, I went from working 5 jobs, piecing things together, to now I work 1 job that I love 3 days a week. And just today, we booked a trip to Orlando. You know, there's just so much freedom that from learning a new way to manage money, learning a way to make income at home, and learning a way to really use skills you already have, refine them, and help people. So that's really your job.
Yeah, I love that. So Christy, tell me this. Did you, when you started with me, see, Christy told me no, you know what I mean? I was like, no, like, you know, like.
And my best friend no, and you know, everyone knows.
I don't drink shakes. I like to go to the gym, all of that stuff. And I get it. I can be sympathetic to that. I understand, you know, but by the time when you started with me, were you at the end of your journey? Did you have a 6-pack or like?
Oh, no. So when I said yes, I had lost that first 7 pounds. And I was like, okay, maybe this works. But I still had, the first 6 months as a coach, it was when I lost 40 pounds. And that's been 5 years ago now. And because I'm a coach, because I'm a team, and they continue to surround myself. And that's the really cool piece about saying yes to being coaches. You get this layer of accountability that I cannot describe in any other way. And I know because these products work, they really teach you to change your way you think about food and nutrition and exercise. And because I've always had this community around me, I've never gained back that weight. Sure, there's been ups and downs and, you know, sickness or hormone things, different things that you learn to navigate, but never is it the story of you lose 50 pounds and gain 100 and lose 50 and gain, you know, like that you hear with some other systems. Like being a coach puts you in a place to get long-term success. So that's something too. If you're looking for that extra accountability, that's why what a role is too, is to help yourself have long-term success.
Which is what I love. See, you're not, as a coach, you're not a personal trainer. Trust me, like like I've worked in that industry for 14, going on 14 years in November. I'll be a personal trainer. I have every certification you can think of: behavioral lifestyle change, nutrition coach. I have sports and conditioning for kids and adults. I mean, you name it, prenatal, postpartum. I had all of that stuff and still couldn't figure myself out, you guys. Like, and that's not what was missing. Okay. So the first thing when someone introduced it to me, it was like, what stopped me was not the products, because as a personal trainer, I could look at the products and say like, yeah, that makes sense. Now, if someone starts selling something to you that's like, you know, like you only have to work out for 6 minutes, like run. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, run. Like, you don't ever even have to sweat. Just eat, drink. Like, take this pill. Like, you know, Shakeology is not a miracle. We're never going to say, like, oh, just drink this shake. You never have to sweat again. Like, that's a lie. Okay. So when it was introduced to me, like, I knew the programs. I knew P90X. I understood the phasing of it because I had studied it. I just didn't think I needed him. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I know how to do, I don't need him. You know, it was an ego thing. So I love that what we have to offer people, it works. We don't have to have all the knowledge as to why. Like, we like direct people. You know what I mean? Like, so like a program that's good for Christy might not be good for like my husband's mom has done programs with me and she's a coach. Yeah, might not be doing the same programs. And that's what I love. We have all of these tools to offer different people, like really to get to the heart of the person, you know, like what is the best fit for you, and then connect that to them. And then be their encourager. Sometimes I think people need someone to believe in them before they do in themselves. They need to get some wins, and they need some person to say like, wait, no, that is a win. We need to celebrate that. That's what I needed in my life, because the fact that I couldn't do one pull-up, I was like, I suck. That was in my head. And I was around a bunch of girls that are like, wait a second. Didn't you hold yourself for 10 seconds longer than last time? And I was like, you're right. Like, because we're so critical. So when you're surrounded by other people that are like an outside person, I was like, wait a second, didn't you increase your water intake last week? I did. Okay, we need to celebrate that. That's what we do as coaches, right? We direct them to the program that is the best fit for them, that will work. And then we encourage them and help them stay on track through it, you know? And then I love the accountability piece. So, you know, like Christy was saying, as we get results, like as we start to feel better, as we start to shine again, as our confidence goes up, people can't help but notice. I mean, all of the people around me when we were in the military was like, what are you doing? I was like, I already told you. Like, do you know what I mean? They're like, really, it's working? I'm like, yeah. Like, they're like, you used to work out in the gym all the time. I know. Like, do you know what I mean? It's working. And so I love that we get to do, like, when we take care of ourselves, when we put our oxygen mask on, we then can pay it forward. And to me, and I know Christy feels the same way, it started to become a very purpose-driven business for us. You know what I mean? Like, and there's so much fulfillment that comes from being connected to someone else starting to shine again. And I legit became addicted to that over the last decade. But, you know, the question I bet you're thinking, and I know for me, when Chad was like, you should totally do this. Granted, well, we'll talk about that later. You should totally do this. I was like, where? Like, where is that even possibly going to fit in? Because you're deploying, we move every year. We have a 10-month-old, a 4-year-old, and we just bought a fixer-upper because we're really smart like that. And we're in the middle of nowhere. I have no family around, no friends around. Really, how's that going to work out, right? And you just heard Christy say she started with 5 jobs. So, you know, that kind of puts all my excuses out. But I want you guys to hear from, you know, as Amanda shares about balancing life and a side hustle, because it's all in does not mean all day. You guys, this isn't something that's supposed to overtake your life. You know, it's supposed to fit into your life. It's supposed to become another stream of income that kind of loosens maybe the debt noose or gives you a little bit more freedom. Like, maybe Christy didn't want to brag, but she just paid for her family to go to England. And now she said she's going to Orlando, and they were able to, their last house, they were able to refinish, and then they moved. Like, there's these little things that you can start to add in. Money is not everything. I do not feel that way. But sometimes it helps to be like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I was like Chad and I were going to Applebee's on date night and splitting a meal. I really just wanted to each have our own. You know, I'm not asking for anything crazy. I'm not asking for a Ruth Chris. Is that how you say it? Just wanted to something other than a coffee sometimes. Although I do enjoy those, I still look back fondly. But you see what I'm saying? Just some extra things, playing for soccer or football camp and stuff. So Amanda, when she started, they were like in Hawaii. I'm going to let you tell the story. I'm going to let you kind of weave in and then share, how do you balance all of this stuff as a military family and such? So go ahead, take it away, girl.
All right. So, yeah, I've been coaching about 6 years, same as Christy. And when I first started, and it's kind of funny to think of how different life is now compared to when it was 6 years ago, because 2 weeks after I signed up as a coach, I found out I was pregnant with my son, which is my second child. About 3 months into being pregnant, we found out we had orders to Hawaii. So I had my daughter, who was 3, and was pregnant with my son, and we were told we had to go halfway across the world where I knew nobody, and raise my 2 kids. And so, okay, long story short, because the military is crazy, our orders got pushed back, and my son was 6 weeks old when we got to Hawaii, and my daughter was still 3, and we lived in a hotel for a month and a half. And that is where I always say, like, where my big why began, because I realized how, like, uncontrollable my life was at that point. If anybody knows anything about the military, you don't get to choose where you live. You don't get to choose at that point when I would get a house. I just knew I had to wait for the military to tell us we have a house, and it ended up being a month and a half wait with no kitchen, and we had bottles. I don't even remember all that. So knowing that I had no control over what was going on, I knew I had control over this business. I knew I could wake up a little bit earlier than my kids and sit down in the same room as them and work on, actually we were going through training at that time, you know, just dig in the 30 minutes here. You know, when the baby laid down, when Ian would lay down for a nap, 30 minutes there. You know, and then when they go to sleep at night, I'll do 30 minutes there. And that's how it kind of rolled in. So I had an infant, I had a toddler, and we of course got a house, and maneuvering through the babies and, you know, the toddler stage, and my daughter was in preschool, and then going into one having kindergarten. It really is what we call the mom cracks of life. I would love to say that I had some sort of like concrete routine, because that's how I am. I like having things structured in a way, at least family wise, like we have a routine, but my job got to fit into the mom cracks where I could, and it was okay. Like that was how I could contribute to my team. That's how I could contribute to my family, and still be present around them. And as I was thinking about talking tonight, there was so much more that I realized, not just fitting in this job, but sitting down and being intentional about fitting this job in helped me become a better mother, become a better wife, because I intentionally put this job in so I could make time for my family, for everything else that I wanted to, not just the business. So I have to give, like, and I know Sommer was a big person that trained us on that, like being intentional on your priorities. And so when you allow yourself to make this a priority, you're also in turn really recognizing what else is a priority in your life. And so I have been able to fit the job in and fit my family and fit everything that's important to me, along with, you know, because I know so many of us are like, I don't have time to fit the job in, but we do. We just have to be intentional about sitting down and working it in nap time, or, you know, if you guys have younger kids, nap times or before. And for me right now, I wake up early, about an hour earlier than the kids. And that became a habit when I was in Hawaii, because we were 6 hours behind. And so to get over the fact of like waking up feeling like I was already behind, because everybody else, my team was already like, it was already noon for them, and I was just waking up. And so I'd wake up to like 50 messages. So my mindset was, you know, how do I overcome this? Well, I've got to wake up earlier. I've got to get a head start on this. And so it made me get intentional about that, to where now I'm doing that still, even though I'm not 6 hours behind, and I'm creating that time space for me to get this business in this cracks. And now both like I said, I started 6 years ago. So my son's in kindergarten, and my daughter's in 4th grade. And so now it's a whole nother avenue, which I've seen people kind of navigate, you know, with both kids, and you have all this time, and you still have to sit down and be intentional of where your time goes. This just allows me now to make time to volunteer in school, to volunteer more in my church, but also setting aside time that's just for this business. So it's not all day. I'm not spending all day I've never spent all day on this business. I've spent it in the mom cracks of life, but I've also, like right now, been intentional of like, I'm only going to work these hours, and then I'm going to allow time to do the other things that I recognize as a priority in my life.
Yeah, here's what I can promise you. If we catch you doing it all day, we're going to kind of call you on it. Like, do you know what I mean? We're going to, like, because we do not want other areas of your life that you value to suffer. We want it to be like an added value to the other areas of your life. Yes, it has to be a part of your schedule on a consistent basis, but it shouldn't become more important than your marriage. You shouldn't be on your phone all the time, you know, and it really can be designed any way you want. I mean, I remember when I was like, finally, like, okay, Summer, everybody has 24 hours in a day. It must just be, I must have to just be intentional with where my time goes. And if I can be honest with you, I don't know, Amanda, if you were like this, but when Chad deployed for the first time, I really struggled. Like, well, I struggled the second time too. Let's just be honest. But the first time I was really like, you know, you can't prepare for what that feels like. And I slipped into kind of a dark place. Like in my head, I was just going through the motions. I was becoming kind of numb. And one of the things that brought me out of it was having this to focus on at different times in the day. Like I actually started to look forward to, like, who can I go add value to, which is something we talk about on our team very much. Not, you know, like that's really how quote unquote sales, if you want to call that, because I hear that all the time, I don't like sales. Well, then whoever's selling to you isn't doing it well. Like sales is just connecting with something that benefits someone. Right? So it's a mutually beneficial exchange, right? And so it's being done wrong. If sales is done, it feels icky. It means the person it's all about the person offering it instead of looking like, who can I serve today? And that's where my mindset went 10 years ago when Chad was gone. And I'm telling you guys, like the first thing before I made any substantial money, Chad saw a change in me because I started to, I'll just be honest, it started to lift me up. Like, you know what I mean? I started to love life. I looked forward to it. You know what I'm saying? And so I would even take a bath at night and I'd grab my phone and I would go check into groups and love on people. And instead of feeling sorry for myself at night or whatever had gone on that day, you know, managing a household by yourself, a 10-month-old, a 4-year-old, a deployment, feeling lonely, that's a lot to take on. And instead of feeling sad, you know, when I got into bed, I felt encouraged and excited to wake up in the morning. And so, you know, it really can become like, for me, like, yes, it's a business. Like we as a team, we're going to teach you how to make money. I think you should. If you're investing your time, I want you to get a return on that investment. You know what I'm saying? But there's this thing that happened inside of me, that you can't put a price tag on. And I want to teach you that too, because I've studied happiness. My husband came back from his second deployment, failure to adjust. And I started to study happiness. And one of the things that I learned is that there's like, you know, happiness comes from like experiences. That's something I'm always big on. Like we're doing this retreat together, or when people come to team calls, like I want to give them an experience, right? So it's not going to be boring. Like, you know, I'll ask you guys to bring wine or hot tea, or, you know, we try to have a fun time doing it when we do these events and stuff like that, opportunities for us to come together as a community. But where true fulfillment comes from is paying it forward, is loving on people. And that's something that I didn't expect to change inside of me. You know what I'm saying? And so we're going to teach you all of those things, because the worst thing, and I've seen people do this, maybe you know somebody, they make money doing something, but they hate going. Have you ever met anybody like that? I grew up in a household like that. Every Sunday at about noon, my mom turned into a bear. You want to know why? Because she was already thinking about work. It was miserable. I hated growing up on Sundays. Me and my sister just went the opposite direction because she was so mad that she had to go to work the next day. Well, when I started this job, this business, I promised myself that when my feet hit the floor in the morning, I'd be excited about what I get to do. And when I put my head down on a pillow at night, I'd be proud of what I was a part of. And that's what we're going to be really intentional in teaching you guys. you know, some people wonder like, how fast can I feel these benefits, or, you know what I mean? Well, I want to introduce you to someone that just blew my socks off last week on a team call. Her name's Claire. You can unmute yourself, Claire. And I was like, Claire, you got to talk to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I was talking and Nan was like, let's let them talk. I was like, yes, Claire. Like, you know what I mean? Because she just, I mean, gave me the chills hearing her. She's been in this business and a part of the community for just over 30 days. Probably now we're going on 40-ish or so. But that's not that long. This girl lit me on fire last week, and I just wanted to bring her on to tell, so you guys could hear like what it could do for you in a short period of time. Because you're probably like, Summer, really? Do I have to do this a decade? Okay, to feel a benefit. Okay, well, let's see what the benefit could be for you. You know, if you just gave us 30 days. Okay, Claire, so tell us a little bit, and I'll kind of walk you through this. Like, where were you at? You started telling me your story on that team call. Where were you at before all of this?
Okay, so before I found this program, I had left an abusive marriage. It was verbally, emotionally, and financially abusive about 3 years ago. And I've spent those 3 years kind of trying to rebuild myself as a human, as a person, figuring out who I was. And I knew that I needed to change. I'm a physical education teacher, and I knew that I needed to work on my wellness. And so I kind of made a decision back in like January or February, and it took me all the way until July before I reached out to Nan, who is my coach. Our daughters played softball together in the same league, and that's how we met. Before then, I had never seen her before in my life. But she was just always so like happy and excited. And so I followed her on Facebook, and then I reached out to her and I said, I don't know what I need to do, but I need to do something. And she's like, okay, let's do this and take this journey with me and take my hand, and I won't give up on you. You won't give up on me.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. I love that. That's what we do as coaches. I won't give up on you. You know what I mean? Have you ever had anybody say that to you? I won't give up on you. I love that. Okay. Go on. Sorry. I get so excited about you, Claire.
So about 3 weeks ago, Nan invited me to one of these calls, and I came and I couldn't fall asleep afterwards because I was so excited. My brain was going like 16 different directions. And I just couldn't wait to get started. I love teaching because I feel like I can make an impact on the lives of all of the children that I see. And I love this business because I can now help spread this kind of joy and excitement and light to people of all ages now, and not just kids.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so from the time where you started, let's talk about your physical transformation.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I started on August 4th, was when I first started my first program. I'm doing Ultimate Portion Fix with 21-day fix workouts. And I actually checked in my second round, and now I've lost 14.4 pounds. I haven't done inches yet, but in the first round of 21-day fix, I lost 9 inches as well.
That's
so,
and that's 9 days long,
yeah.
Right? That first round.
Yeah. So the first round, I lost 10.2 pounds and 9 inches.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So that part, I was like, wow. I was like, wait a second. Tell me about like the stuff that you don't see on a scale. Like that change. Like what change did you feel that would never show up on a scale? Because we give the scale way too much credit. You know what I mean? Way too much. Like
right.
There's the other side of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong, 14 pounds is like, dang girl, like, you know, that matters, how you feel in your skin. But there's this other side that blew me away. So tell them about that.
So even more importantly than the physical results that I got is I feel like just my mental shift has completely changed to positive. I'm smiling all the time. People have noticed that I'm smiling all the time. They're asking me like, what are you doing? Why? Like, you look different. You seem different. And I grin at them and I'm like, I am different. Like, I feel so different inside. Like, I'm happier. I feel like I'm a better coworker and friend and mom.
Yeah.
I feel so much better about myself.
I love
So
that. You guys, it ripple effects into every area. It really does. And it has so much to do with who you surround yourself by. You know what I mean? It's just such a hopeful environment, you know, and I love your story, Claire. And how have you been doing business wise? Have you been building?
I have. I added my significant other as a coach just this weekend, and I've made three sales.
Nice.
So
you have 3 people, right?
3 people.
You know,
Yeah.
There's commission, and Nan's going to talk about that in a second. Like, how do you make money? There needs to be a money side to a business. You guys, you have to care on some level, you know, the ROI, right, Claire? I mean, and that
Right.
helps your family out, right? You have 2 kids, two or
Just one.
Oh, one.
Yeah.
So that helps you. Do you know what you'll do with that? Are you just saving it? Is it?
I have some debt to pay off, because with leaving a marriage and starting over, I had incurred some expense with that. But that's my first goal. But then my other big goal is to be able to take my daughter on a nice vacation. We did one day at Disney World 2 years ago, and I would love to take her for more than one day.
Okay, so Disney is where you guys go when you save the money for this. That's fun.
Right.
That's fun, you guys. I love, and that's something where we're going to ask of you guys, like, you know, to start, like, what would you do with it? Like, there is no wrong answer. Like, do you know what I mean? Chad and I, what we wanted to do with it initially was to go on dates, like, you know what I mean? To be able to afford a babysitter. We couldn't. And I wanted to pay off some debt that really started to create like a stress and a divide in our marriage. And so there is no wrong answer, but I love that. And I love to get to celebrate that when you achieve it, because I'm telling you, if you set a goal and you show up, this is a team that's going to help you to achieve those goals, you know, and really help you move forward. Claire, I know Claire's so new, you guys. You tell her how much you love her in the side. That's really a nerve-wracking thing to do, to come on a call in front of other people. I mean, this will be viewed by hundreds. Sorry, Claire, that's true. And you're probably like, oh, it's so awesome. You look gorgeous. I'm proud of you. And I love that you're blowing me away. So Nan is her coach, and Nan's going to kind of share how do you make money? Like, do you know what I mean? And that's something that you guys have to understand with this business. There's no minimums. Okay. So there's no like reoccurring, like if you don't hit your minimum, you have to owe money. You have to purchase so much and stock it in your house. I would not be here because the startup fee was $40, and I'll cover that in a second. And that went on a credit card. I didn't even have that. So if there was this huge like startup fee or anything, I wouldn't be here. But Nan's going to teach you how to make money, how our compensation plan is set up a little bit, and we'll kind of walk through it. Nan, like, so what's the first way that Claire's making an income right now?
So what I love about this company, and, you know, and so many people, we can start at different levels, and we kind of have 3 different levels that you can start at. But with Claire, and it's changed from when I signed up like 5 years ago. Actually, I shouldn't say that it's changed, because nothing really has changed. It's still a 25% commission on any products that you sell. But what I love about it is Claire, when we first talked, just like when I first talked to my coach, Christy, is I started as a discount. Claire started as she had a small goal of making like, what could $50, $200 do for me a month? And she was like, my goodness, like that could do so much for my daughter and I, like for my family. You have no idea. It could help me pay down the debt. And I'm like, girl, like we can do this. That's like 3 customers a month. You know, that's selling this or this, like that's connecting you with 3 new customers. And all we have to do, you know, like there's so many opportunities for people. So I think that's what's so important is there's a lot of different opportunities and a lot of different programs in nutrition and whatever it is that we connect people with. But I want to tell you guys, like very similar to Claire, when I started, I shouldn't say, because Claire is a rock star. When I started, I was like, kind of like Sommer. I was like, I don't need a shake. These shakes are stupid. Like, I don't need this. My husband signed up before me. I was like, holy crap. I can go run a marathon. Well, I didn't realize how much like on my inside, I was like not healthy. And, you know, I needed this community.
And I don't know where I would be 5 years like down the road today, like without this community, you guys. So, you know, I started out with that, and it slowly became, okay, what can I do, you know, 6 weeks postpartum with this little opportunity, this door that just maybe cracked open for me that I totally was bullheaded about and didn't want to see the opportunity at the time, because that was me. Again, like the shakes were stupid. I didn't need any of this stuff. I didn't need the programs. And it led me to, you know, slowly building on, you know, extracurricular activities for my kids, to, you know, my husband was able to quit his part-time job, to slowly, like, I was like crying every night when I was coming home from work, talking to my husband, like, what can I do that I can be home with my kids? And he gave me a number. I saw the number. I made it work. I figured out kind of what I needed to do to make that number happen. And I made it happen. And so now I'm working like just a few days a week, and I'm able to be home more with my kids. And like Sommer said, girl, I used to be your mom. Like on Sunday nights, like at noon, I would be that person, be like, I don't want to work tomorrow. So it can happen, ladies. Okay. So,
yeah. I mean, that the first way, like Nan was saying, is, and what I love about it, you know, from a personal trainer like perspective, is there's so many different options, because we're all different. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not everybody has to do this, or this is the way you have to eat. Like, we were all created very uniquely. And so different things are going to serve us differently, you know, and in different seasons. Right. And so, and each one of those products, as you connect people with it, you know, has a commission attached to it that you'll be rewarded in that regard, you know, as you work with them. Like your job is not to make them show up, because we can't make anybody show up. Your job is not to understand the ins and outs of the program, but that's not our job. Our job is to connect them and encourage them and to remind them why they started, right? And that's not an all day thing. So that's the first way. Did you want to talk about the second way that we can start to create an income?
So the second way, really, honestly, is by building your team. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I mean, I this is one of my favorite ways to create income, if I'm being honest.
So my, like, honestly, and that's like what Claire was talking about, how she just signed up her husband or her significant other today. And that really is an incredible way once you start to grow your team. That is when I felt personally like you're going to get like a $14 commission, essentially, cycle bonus from Beachbody every single week. And essentially that's like saying, like, do you want to throw $14 in the trash every week? You know, that's signing up 2 coaches. So 2 people. So 2 people that you can think of right now. And I think sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves of like, who, you know, like who really needs to be healthy? Like, think about 2 people in your life. And I will tell you guys, and like, this is just because it's on my heart, because like my mom and dad were just here, and they still are, like, I've been doing this for 5 years, and many of you guys can probably speak to this as family, but they still are the most unhealthy people that I know, and still have not joined me. And you guys are going to have people like that along your way, and it breaks your heart every single day, every single time you see them. But think about those people that, like, really, that you could reach your hand out to today, tomorrow, and be like, hey, will you join my team? You know, because that's really when you do start to get a lot of essential, like, you get customers coming in that Beachbody is going to connect you with. You're going to get the cycle bonuses, like I talked about. And there's a little bit more to that, but I don't want to get too confusing on that. But that's really, and it also, in a way, like, your income almost kind of flip-flops. Like, so you're seeing like the commission, but then with all the cycle bonuses and how much you can get on that end, it takes a lot of pressure off of you too. As your team builds, you're reaching out to so many people that I don't know, all the people that Claire knows and Christy knows and Sommer knows. And so that's really the best part of all of it, because we wouldn't be here without every single one of you guys. And you can't change anyone, like, enough lives with just the one person that, you know, the one person I know. they may not buy or be interested, but they have 2,000 other people that they know that I don't know. And that's really what the cool part of it is.
It really is. It really is. I mean, Nan's absolutely right. It's my favorite part, because to take you back to my personal training days, I could train about like 8 to 10 people and still remain pretty consistent as a wife and a mom, 14 years ago when I was just doing personal training. And I remember thinking like, I need to reach more. Like, do you know, because I'd really connect, and you will as well. I really connected with the women, and the men, and your heart really, you start to realize there's more of, like, if we could just pull them into our community. And so I started building a business called Real Moms, Real Fit, and I was putting together all of these websites. I was paying GoDaddy. I learned HTML coding. And that's actually how my coach found me. And I was building out things that I did not go to school for. You guys, I went to school for not HTML coding. Okay. And I was learning all these things because what I wanted to do was, I had these workouts, right? I wanted to teach women, I wanted to teach somebody in Minnesota how to do it and reach 8 to 10 people, and Washington and Hawaii. And, I was like, this is how we reach more people. And then someone recommended this to me. And although it wasn't exactly like how I was thinking it, I was like, wait, this is going to work. Wait a second. So as I help people and then other people link arms with me, we can reach more people. Do you know what I mean? It really is a mission. To me, if I can help, I know what I've been freed from. I've been freed from that self-hate yo-yo prison that I lived in. If we can build a team that is just helping, each person's helping a few new people a month, can you imagine the impact we could have on people's lives? That excites the heck out of me. Right? Excites the heck out of me. And then as we do that, and what Nan was saying, you start to, Beachbody compensates you a little bit, and it adds up. And I think that is so freaking cool that we have an opportunity, a business plan that creates that. Now, do you have to do that? No. You know what I mean? We have plenty of people on our team that they're like, I'm not ready to build my team. That's fine. If this business can literally be anything you want, and while I love it, I started out very, very part-time, maybe an hour a day, when Chad was deployed in the mom cracks and fitting it in. And now I do it a little bit more full-time, but I wouldn't even call it full-time. Well, I have a full-time income, but it's not 40 hours a week or 80. But, and not everybody even wants to go to that place, but you get to choose what it looks like in your life. And that's what I love about it, because there's not a lot of things that you get to choose what, it gets to look like in your life. You don't have there's things that you just don't have a lot of control over. You know what I mean? But this is one thing that you can control. And that's something that excited me, 10 years ago when we were struggling financially. I cannot control that our family didn't have money to help us with student loans. And that's okay. I can't control that. I can't control that the military, paid dirt cheap. Could not control that. But I can control this. And that excited me. That kind of put me back into the driver's seat. And so it's up to you, wherever you're at right now, you can decide, there's kind of 3 options in my opinion. You can kind of do the discount thing, which Christy was like that for 7 days with me. And she's like, okay, teach me how to do this. Sounds like Nan was a little bit more stubborn maybe, but it can be, you can take this time to work on yourself, enjoy a 25% off discount off of the product that you love, that's helping you, and get surrounded and be learning. That's an option, right? There's no minimums. You don't have to buy a whole bunch, $2,000 worth in your house. You can literally not change anything, but sign up for the discount, get surrounded, get introduced to the team, and listen and learn and start to take steps as you see fit, or it can be more hobby. You know what I mean? You might really, really love what you do. Maybe you're not angry on Sunday night like Nan was, and you just really, maybe you're like Claire. Claire loves her job. I really don't see her leaving it. It doesn't have to be something like that, but it could be something that it just adds love to your life, that you enjoyed being surrounded by the community and it's fun, and so if you love your job, if you're financially secure, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? It creates this other stream of income That could be fun money. I know I've had friends that I was just talking to one, like she does gets her nails done, and it's not, she doesn't have to like tell her husband like, yeah, that's an extra so and so such and such every month. It's just kind of like her fun money, and it's no big. So it can be anything you want, But the cool thing is, if you do a challenge pack, if you do a bundle, the $40 is completely waived. That wasn't an option when I signed up. I had to fork out the $40, y'all. But if you buy a challenge pack or you have purchased a challenge pack, that's completely waived, And so really, it's really just a process that we get you set up, and you immediately start, enjoying 25% off, And if you don't have that, if you haven't started, that's what I would start with. From a personal trainer to you, I think I call it stupid cheap. Like that, it used to cost $100 for one session with me. One. And I recommend 3 to 5 sessions with me. Like, you know what I mean? Like and I do, like, if we're really going to make progress for $100 BOD, all access, you get every access to every personal trainer in our library, every workout they've ever done. We can literally put together a year-long plan for you. And that's generally $100. And then you get to try Shakeology for more than half off, right? So, that's $160, and your sign-up fee is waived. Like, literally, we can fill in your nutritional gaps to increase your energy and lower your cravings so that you can really create some wins in your journey that then you can share. Like, people are going to see that immediately, right? So we'll help you earn some of that back very quickly. So I love that. And if you don't have VOD, I would add it, and we'll show you how to do that. If you already have all access, there's other options, like maybe start with the 3-day refresh, you know what I mean? And go that route so that you can really hone in on your personal journey and create some success stories to share with people. There's so many different options to start. So no matter where you're at, like if you're feeling like this nudge inside of you, like, you know what I mean? If you can relate to me at all when it comes to finances, or when it comes to, Claire with her own personal journey, like, I really want you to just lean in with us. We have a new coach academy starting in just a week so that we can start you. Like, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, let 10 years of experience, and then we have 6 and 5, and there's so many, like, let us share with you so that you can really start off on the right foot. And honestly, our job is to just meet you where you're at. Is like whatever you want to do, we will coach you in that fashion. Like, if you want to run, awesome. Let's run together. If you're not ready for that, we're not going to force you. Like, our friendship with you and us being teammates has nothing to do with how fast you want to run or don't run. Like, this is like, what I love about this team, and maybe if you can look up, she's up the right-hand corner of my screen. Cara has blue hair. Okay. Yep. And not too long ago, I think it was shaved on one side, and then all of a sudden she had these extensions, right? And she comes from a background of, overcoming addiction and getting her life back and moving into a house that they've wanted and a yard with their kids. Like, but she, not everybody has this blonde hair, or do you see what I'm saying? Like, and we're not going to make her, like, Cara needs to be Cara, and you need to be you. And what you need to understand is there are people that are directly connected to you and your story and your personality and Cara's blue hair. And there are people that are attached to Claire and her story of surviving, abuse, you know what I'm saying? And there's people that are attached that would really, really I'd love to hear Amanda's story with the, having something positive to plug into with so much uncertainty as a military family. You have to understand that's what makes this business and this team so valuable, in my opinion, because you don't have to be anybody but yourself. That's your freaking superpower. When is the last time someone has ever told you that? Like, you be you, and let us teach you. There's a recipe to this business. Let us teach you how to weave in you, your awesome personality. Your story can be used for good to reach more people and to build a purpose-driven business that financially also helps your family. I'm sorry, but I don't know of anything else that does that. And we are going to love you hard. That's what I can promise you, that we're not going to ask you to change. We're not going to ask you to hide anything. We're going to love you for you. I'm telling, and all we ask you to do is that you love us for us back, and we'll work and grow what is on your heart, however big or however small. That's my promise to you. And we have that type of success. Everything from, multi six figures all the way down to people are like, dude, I'm good with a couple $100s a month. Awesome. I love that. And so if you have any questions, we'll be on here for a second if you want to ask, but really we're right at that hour mark, and I want to get you off, but not before we give away some things, right? So my kids love to give away their favorite, I guess you could call it a supplement, but they're called beach bars. My kids love it. They fight over it. They get really mad when they're gone, okay? And they're like, Mom, give those away. So we're going to give, if you are new on here, if you're just coming in and you're listening, you were invited by someone, I want you to just say me on the side, and we'll put you into a drawing really, really quick. So we're going to do the beach bars, okay? But the other option is, I was like, okay, kids, we can give away the beach bars, but we're also going to give away Energize. This is Chad and I's favorite supplement, because, hear me out on this, okay? Because when we first started, it wasn't available, but we really struggled with energy initially. A lot of my clients have, back when I was just doing personal training, which I don't do anymore, by the way. I will not train people one-on-one. I refuse, because that's not the secret sauce. The secret sauce is this. What you're looking at right here. This is the secret sauce. It's people from different walks of life and from people that have different scars and wounds and different goals that get surrounded and cheer each other on and move in a positive direction. That's the secret sauce. So when people say, no, I want you to train me one-on-one, absolutely not. I would be cheating them. That's how I feel, right? So anyway, that was a side note. Anyway, so Energize is Chad and I's favorite. Chad just got done running a Spartan race that was supposed to be 10 miles, and it was ended up being 15 miles. And I know it was 15 miles, and you should see him limp around this house, poor guy. He signed up for it, so I'm not really feeling sorry for him. But the Energize helped him, and it has quercetin in it, which is something that really helps with muscle repair and reduces soreness. But that's something that really trips people up in their journey, is having the energy, like if you have to work out in the morning, right? And so for me, when Chad was deployed and it came out, I would keep the Energize in my bathroom, and I'd shake it up in the morning and drink it, and then I'd brush my teeth, and then it would start to, and it's very natural, my son, uses it when he plays football, like it's safe, so it's not this crazy, like Chad, I don't know how many of you guys husbands work out, but Chad has ingested some things that are questionable, that you can find at different places that you're like, did you really put that in your body? So this isn't one of those things, but we love it. It reduces our soreness. That's something that I notice in people when we start working out, we get pretty sore initially. I don't know, Claire, if you felt that way, but sometimes it can really keep you from working out the next day because you're so sure. I wonder if Chad will work out tomorrow. What do you guys think? Probably not. But anyway, you ran about 15 feet. I know, like literally, you guys, they went up this hill, like up to 8,000 feet. And then it was so high. It was only 35 degrees and it was raining. Like he was like, anyway, better Chad than me. I'm going to stay down here with y'all and do our at-home workouts. He can go out and do that stuff. But anyway, I would love to give something like that away as well, just to get you started, just as like a thank you, something fun. So I'm going to write these names down real quick. Does anybody have any questions before we get you guys off here? I'll pull some names. We're going to give away 2 things. Nothing? Did anybody that spoke, Amanda or anybody, have anything they want to add that they can think of? No? Okay, hold on. I'm getting, my assistant already did all of this, so she's messaging me the winners. Hold on a second. All right, so the first one is Irene. Where's Irene? Oh, her face. I can't see her happy face. Usually when I call people's names, like, I never win anything. Well, today you do. Today you win something. So Irene, whoever your coach is, make sure you send them a message. All I need is your mailing address, and I'll get that out to you tomorrow. And then the other one is Michelle Peterman. Did I say that right? Michelle Peterman is the other. Oh, yeah, I see that big smile. See, that's what I like to see. And you can pick whichever. You just let me know. You can either do the Energize, or you can do the beach bars. The beach bars come in cherry. What are they? Cherry chocolate. And also peanut butter. I'm biased to the cherry. I'm just going to be honest, but I don't know. Some people love the peanut butter, but I'm a cherry through and through. Don't you try to argue with me, any you peanut butter lovers, okay? Because me and the kids, we about tackle each other for the last cherry bar. So, oh, really, man? Okay, it's not bad. It's just like cherry. And then my mother-in-law, she'll just heat it a little bit. It's like a brownie on her plate. Like, you should see her. It looks like she's having a moment when she eats it. Like, it's funny. But anyway, you guys, I won't keep you any longer. Michelle and Irene, congratulations. Make sure you shoot your coach, and your coach will give it to me, and I'll get those out as soon as I can. For the rest of you guys that listened, we so much appreciate you. I don't take it lightly that you took an hour out of your time to listen to what we love. You know what I mean? We hold this team and what we do very near and dear to our hearts. So the fact that you would take some time to listen to our hearts means a lot to us. And if it's not the right fit for you, if you ever know of anybody that, man, they could use a community like this or something to be a part of, please don't be afraid to tell them about us. I promise you, we will love them well, and we'll walk next to them and we'll serve them. That is our promise. To the coaches that shared today, I know that's outside of your comfort zone. I had all my stuff too, but I love that you came and you shared your hearts. I love all of you guys. And I just hope that I'll get to see some of you guys in our group. Don't forget, you got until about Monday to get kind of set up, and then we'll start to teach you how to do this and to make it fit into your life and how to make it something that you really do look forward to. We want you to love it like we do, no matter what, we love you. We appreciate you, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.